Hello, I'm Cathy with Cathy's Candle Creations, and today I'm going to make a short video on understanding fragrance oils. This is for soy wax candles. I cannot help you with other types of waxes, but this is for 464, 444, 415. What I'm going to help you with today will help with all three of those waxes. Some of what I'm helping you with can be applied to other waxes as far as understanding the fragrance oils. So I wrote an article, so I'm going to kind of be going from my notes. I've seen a lot lately where people have asked about when to add the fragrance oils, where to get the fragrance oils, what type of fragrance oils, and things like that. So I figured I'd make this quick video to try to help with that. First thing I'm going to cover is not all fragrance oils are created equally, bottom line. I do not ever recommend, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, I'll go into it more in a little bit. I don't recommend that you buy your fragrance oils from any hobby stores or off of Amazon, unless if there are some reputable candle sellers that sell on Amazon, so I would look and see who has posted it. But there are things like this on Amazon. Don't do it, please. The quality of fragrance oil that you use really does matter in the hot throw and the cold throw that you're going to get out of your candles. So Amazon and Hobby Lobby stores and hobby stores, no, please. Why? Because these stores do not list any important factors about the fragrance oils. There's no Flashpoint. There's no IFRA ratings on them, nothing. And many of them will say generic, where they can be used in several different things. And we want to use fragrance oils that are actually for candles. That's just going to be the safest fragrance oil that you can use. And it's going to be, honestly, ounce per ounce, the most economical, really, if you look at it. So what to look for in a fragrance oil. Not the premium in quality that you're going to find on Amazon and in hobby stores. You want fragrance oils that are going to, even if they don't list them on the bottle, some companies do. They'll list Flashpoint, they'll list the amount of vanillin and phthalates and stuff like that are in your fragrance oils. You'll want companies that do that. If they don't list it, not all do, on the actual label, then on their website where you have to go order, look under your fragrance oil and it'll tell you all those things. If it's candle safe, if it's skin safe, things like that. You want a good quality fragrance oil. Maple Street does not list the Flashpoint, but they list other important things. I hope this will show up. One of the best labels that you're going to find that has everything listed on it is going to be Candle Science. CandleScience.com is one of the best places to get fragrance oils. Yes, the shipping's a little steep, but the quality of the fragrance oil is going to be amazing, okay? And that's the majority. The Flaming Candle, they post a lot on their labels as far as what's in it. I can't see without glasses anyway. They don't always post the Flashpoint, but they'll tell you. And also, you want to store these in cooler, darker places. No direct sunlight. It will affect your fragrance oils. So, what was I saying? What to look for. So, and remember, this is for soy wax. I can't help you as far as the qualities. It's for any wax, but what I'm telling you today and how and when is for soy waxes, okay? I mentioned Flashpoint, so there's going to be some that say Flashpoint is really important and some that say Flashpoint doesn't matter at all. Let me tell you this. The Flashpoint is the temperature at which fragrance oils can combust, catch fire, if exposed to an open flame. Why do I think that Flashpoint is not so important for us candle makers? Because once you take the oil with its Flashpoint and you add it to the wax, okay, the oil becomes a different chemical compound. So what was combustible at So 176 has now changed because it is combined with the wax. It's a totally different animal. So, excuse me, when they're talking about the Flashpoints, they're apparently, from what I can understand the best, they're talking about the fragrance oil itself having to be shipped, especially via airplane, because Flashpoints matter more as far as combustibility when in an airplane. So really, you'll have to do your research and decide whether Flashpoint matters to you or not. I will tell you something else as far as adding fragrance oils in just a minute. So, once you have a good quality fragrance oil, when do you actually add it to the wax? This is where you're going to get a lot of different reactions. There's going to be your diehard people that say, heat your wax to 185 and then add right away. Okay. I partly agree with this because what's happened scientifically is the molecules in your wax, when they reach 185, they open up, or another way is if your wax has broken down and is now a liquid, so all the little pieces actually have more surface area for the fragrance oil to bond with. More surface area, and them being open means, yes, it's really great to add between 175 and 185. I'll tell you how I do it in a little while. But scientifically, it does make sense because the chemical reaction, the bonding that's going to happen is going to happen better around 175, 185 with the pores, molecules, not pores, the molecules being open and ready to accept the fragrance oil. So there are others that are going to say, no, do not pour your fragrance oil in your wax at such a high temperature. It's going to burn off. Okay, back up. Let's look at this scientifically again. If the fragrance oil bonds with the wax at 175, 185, it's not going to burn. It bonded, okay? The ones that don't bond maybe can burn off, but the ones that bond aren't going to burn off. You've changed you've made it a different beast, okay? It is now a wax and a fragrance oil combination, not just the fragrance oil that can, yes, burn off. So that's one way to look at it. So do you add at 185 or do you drop down and add around 165? Then you've got the others that have where they say the Flashpoints, that you'll want to add. This Flashpoint is 201. So I know that a certain candle company will say, no, don't add it at 201. You don't want to heat your wax that high. Add it at 185. So, but there are other fragrance oils that have lower Flashpoints, such as 165. So do you lower your wax temperature to 165 and then add it? That's what some candle suppliers will suggest. And that is for burn off. You don't want to burn off. But remember, if they're bonding at 185, 175, they're not going to burn off because now they're heavier. Also, they're combined with the soy wax. So then there's this other method, the Alex method. I do not recommend for those that are new to making candles. It's a little tricky. This wax, when you're doing the Alex method, you never heat your soy wax over 150. You heat it to 150, you remove it, then you add your fragrance oils. It's a lot cooler process. I've tried it. It works. It's a little tedious, but you'll have to decide what way you choose to add your fragrance and why. But I'm giving you some different ideas as to why certain people do certain things. So let's see. I've covered. So when do you add the FO? To be honest, you can add it at 175, 185. That's your choice, or you can add it at a lower temperature. You can add it per the Flashpoints, or you can do the Cathy method. Yes, they have an Alex method. Why can't they have a Cathy method? So what do I do? Here's my secret. I take into account the science. I take into account the Flashpoints. I take into account that I have come to learn and understand my soy over the years. So what I do is I measure out the amount of oil that I need for the batch that I am creating. I will heat to 185, 186, 187. Probably about 186, 87, because as soon as you take it off the heat, it's starting to cool off. As soon as you pour that fragrance oil in there, it cools off anymore. So I really want it to stay between the 175 and the 185 to mix my fragrance oil. So I will take 3/4 of what I'm going to put in the whole batch, and I will pour it in about 3/4 right away and stir for 2 minutes. People, stirring for 2 minutes with wax, at least soy wax, does make a difference. It makes a difference in the bonding of the molecules. It makes a difference in not having air bubbles. If there's any moisture, you can see when you add the wax, little bubbles. You don't want that. You want to stir until your bubbles are gone, because if not, the bubbles make air bubbles when you pour your wax, okay? Air bubbles make tunneling, and you don't want that. So stirring is very important. 2 minutes minimum. I always count, and I count slow because I know then it's going to be more than 2 minutes. And it's very relaxing to me, honestly. The stirring is very relaxing. So I let my wax cool down to about 145, and while it's cooling, I come back and check, because I have to check the temperature, and I stir it a little more, okay? Once it gets down to around 135 to 145, then I add the other quarter of fragrance oils to it. Hey, if there was any burn off, I'm taking care of it anyway. So then I stir again for 2, sometimes 3 minutes, because now you're at a cooler temperature, and your wax the wax molecules are actually cooling, so they have gotten bigger because they're combining together. So there's less surface area that your fragrance oil can adhere to. So you'll want to stir, agitate the wax very well, so that the remaining little bit of fragrance oil has something to bond to well. 2 minutes. I always do a little more than 2 minutes. Stirring is important. So Cathy Method, then I let it cool down to about 130, and I pour into my vessels, making sure that my room temperature, y'all, room temperature does make a difference. I promise you, is at least 100, is at least 70 degrees Fahrenheit. When I pour cooler than that, I can see it in my wax. It was really pretty because they get this like lines on top, and it still comes out very smooth. But pouring in a room that is 70 degrees Fahrenheit or a little bit warmer just gives you smooth tops, okay? What else? So there's the Cathy Method. Trying to keep this kind of short. I have done this for a couple years now, and I love it. My customers love it. The cold throw is amazing, and the hot throw is something I'm very proud of, okay? Again, this is all for soy wax, but some of this can be, as far as understanding the fragrance oils, carried on over to other waxes. But as far as pour temperatures and stuff, each wax has a different pour temperature, and I can't advise you on other waxes because I'm not using them. I'm a soy person. 464 mainly, 444 also for my embeds. So what else can I tell you real quick? There are some great quality candle suppliers. Candle Science is one of them. The Flaming Candle Company I absolutely love. Maple Street, Rustic Essentials, and remember, hobby stores and Amazon, no. I highly recommend it. Recommend against it. So I think that covers everything. I hope this was helpful. This is the first just stand up, not showing you something where I'm actually in and talking a lot. So I hope my southern accent has been understandable, and I hope that this is helpful. You can find me at Simply Soy, which is my soy group. The candle makers group. There's several of them that I'm a part of. I'm either a group expert in, a moderator in. All those places, if you go to them and you ask questions, you're going to get some wonderful answers, but you may get some confusing answers too. What I'm sharing here may be a little bit different from some of the other YouTube. But remember, what I'm sharing is for soy wax. Your soy wax are these beautiful little or large flakes of wax. So I hope this is helpful. And again, I'm Cathy with Cathy's Candle Creations. And I will see you the next time. I hope you have a wonderful day. And if it helped, hey, like and subscribe like everybody else says. Thanks so much.